All right, well, we're here.
Plan for success. What was the other part?
And then go live.
Then go live. There you go. All right.
And then that I don't know what happened in my video, so I'll have to work that out. But it doesn't matter. They got our handsome faces here
Absolutely.
now. Live from the concourse here with the Sarnia Sting. Hello, everybody. I'm David Burrows Jay Peckham joining me here.
Lip read.
And, wow. Test 1, 2. Buckle my seat. That's pretty. Enunciate. This will be a good one tonight, I think, because for the simple fact that we have not yet played the Owen Sound Attack.
Nope, and we'll only play them once, technically.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, right. Okay.
We'll only play them once here at home.
Right.
Right.
Okay. You've got that all figured out, do you?
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
I could be wrong. It has happened. Once or twice.
Don't set yourself
Maybe.
up on a silver platter, I'll tell you that. Sarnia Sting out on the ice right now, warming up against the Owen Sound Attack. So we really haven't I haven't really taken a close look at the Owen Sound Attack, so I'm not really sure what to expect. Have you got a closer look?
I have not been paying attention to the attack. I could probably look it up on my phone.
Well, there you go. That's the show, folks.
Absolutely. But I do know that typically Owen Sound has a fairly strong team. Good coaching and blah blah, etc.
Yeah.
And they again, like most of the teams in the Western Conference, they have a little more aggressive style.
Okay.
Which we have struggled with in the past, but you know what? I feel pretty positive about the Sting still because, frankly, they've really shown their ability to step up in that arena.
I would say
over the beginning of the season. And if there's one thing I would say about the Sting is that they're really getting to that comfortable spot of playing to the level of the team that they're opposing, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I would agree for the most part with that. I would, if we back up a little bit, though, I would say take a look at Windsor and a couple other teams that would probably and Windsor and Niagara. Two teams right there. The last time we were here, I mean, it was exciting. Great, it was exciting.
Yep.
I don't like it going that far.
No. We should have played better against Niagara.
The time before that, that's what I'm trying to say, before the Niagara, we played them, and it was also an overtime game, which they're way down here. And then Windsor really struggled there, and it's like, what's happening when we're playing these weaker teams, at least on paper, and then we have the struggle, and then we come out and we beat Sault Ste. Marie 7-4. We beat London. We're the stronger teams. Is this a situation of you're only as good as your opponent?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I think there's something to be said. I think they play to the level of the opponent. If the opponent comes out a bit lethargic, I think there might be some confidence. We're a little overconfident maybe. So we go out there and we figure we can coast a little bit. But I mean, as we've said over the past 8 or 9 seasons that you and I have been doing this, this is the OHL. I mean, this is only one step away from the big show.
Anything can happen.
And anything can happen. There's some real talent in this league.
There absolutely is.
We played Niagara. Went to an overtime, but damn, their goalie had a hot night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what do you do when
But you have to draw that line. Like you talked about that against over Niagara in the first period. I remember you saying I think maybe we're not turning it all on because they know the team they're playing and maybe save some of that energy for later.
Yep.
But then we tell them to play 60 minutes of hockey. Yeah. So if you're holding back a little bit and then how do you draw that line between that and complacency?
Yeah, see, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if I was the coach,
I could never get you
which
wrong.
I'm not, but I'm a pedal to the metal guy. I'm a practice the way you play. You know what I mean? If you want to win, you got to go in with that mindset that this is going to be a struggle, boys. We're going to have to get in there. We're going to have to play hard. We're going to have to give them 60 minutes of full throttle Sting hockey, and that's what it's going to take to win a game. Every single game, regardless of who you're playing.
Yeah, so don't hold back and save the energy for third period because they're, especially when you're that underdog.
Yep.
You know what you're up against as well, the same way you typically the team you're playing knows who they're against.
Yep.
And they've got to play harder because they're like.
But I think that's we keep harping on the whole young team thing, but that's a lesson that every hockey player in the OHL has to learn at some point. Is you can't come to work and figure you're going to sit around on your keister all day,
Well, and considering some of those who are still off, like Wainwright,
some key guys,
right, key players that are off.
Did you get those?
I didn't.
Healthy scratches or whatever?
No, I haven't. He'll probably announce them here in a minute.
He'll probably announce it shortly.
But
Galen Moses back in the lineup tonight. He's another one of our critical guys.
Been missing him for the last few games, right?
I know Wainwright has been listed as day-to-day, and we could see him really at any time, which is terrific news. One, I'm glad he's not, that significantly injured anymore.
Well, we didn't know, right?
Yeah, and having him back in the lineup is going to be amazing because he's one of those energy guys, right? I mean, his speed and hands are so good that it really does elevate the team when he's on the ice. So nice to see him back.
But that being said, we're missing Ryan Brown. He took off. We had concerns there as he was maybe expected to play on last weekend, but then I think they kind of went like, heading out Monday to go to the U17, so we're just going to hold off on that, which I would say was probably a smart choice.
That's probably a good call.
Yeah.
But you're right.
But we played without him and played decently without him as well. So
and we play just that much better when we have him.
Well, and that's one of those opportunities that comes along when it's time for when those key players are off for these young players of your team that they have to step up and say, okay, we got to fill those voids that we're used to having.
Absolutely.
Up there. And who would you say has done that? Like we talked about, a couple for me was Barr was one.
Barr, you know what? I saw Barr playing in camp before the season started, and he was a notable for me during that period of time where I got to see him play. Black and white game, he was excellent. I think some of the other guys, Nathan O'Meary, I think, he puts on a pretty strong performance. He's got a little ways to go in his development, but I think he's a guy to watch for, he's just a young guy. So, we've got a couple of good players out there that I think are going to come and, regardless of their age, they got a little room to develop, and we're seeing it. We're watching it happen here on the ice.
Dylan Sika made a comment at the post-game press conference last time that the coaches are really happy with this team, the effort and the work that they put in.
And they should be.
Still, he did say, some lessons to be learned there, but what team doesn't have that? And as for 100%. A young team, they're really happy and impressed with what they've been able to do. I think
comparatively, when you look at, the Sting versus the rest of the OHL, there is no argument that we have one of the younger teams in the league in terms of average age. We don't have a lot of overagers at this point. But we do have some veterans, that are going to give us another year or maybe two. To bring along this young crowd. But I think the thing that stands out for me so far is that the guys that they selected from camp, they all have some pretty good talent already as young players that I'm still very optimistic about the future for this.
Right. Well, we're optimistic about tonight as well. First 100%. Time seeing the Owen Sound attack. We'll see what the Owen Sound is hoping to deliver to the Sarnia Sting, but feeling good, as you can hear with Jay Peckham and myself.
Absolutely.
Confidence in this team, the Sarnia Sting. And the other thing, the fans seem to have that confidence that's carried on from last season after going 3 rounds to the playoffs.
4,100 at the last event.
41-61. That was the key. And I looked around from up top there, and I looked and I went, wow.
There's not a lot of empty seats.
Well, the guy down a couple from me, he always gives me the numbers, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic, right? The Sarnia Sting organization, Jake Burry and his team behind the scenes that you never see putting on the in-game experience. It's an in-game experience like no other, and they've worked really hard to attract this community to come into the seats. And the Sarnia Sting worked really hard to make that happen as well, so that's good to see. All right, we're about 15 minutes away from the Sting coming out onto the ice to take on the Owen Sound Attack. Jay Peckham back to join me for the first period intermission. Of course, later, as always, a reminder, we'll have the post-game press conference. You never know who's going to show up there, so make sure you're following along. But as always, I'm David Burrows with the Sarnia Sting, and this is my friend, Jay Peckham.
Go Sting, go!